Hi boys and girls, today we're going to be doing probability. I know there's a lot of things written on the board, don't get overwhelmed, it's just to save time. So probability means how likely it is for something to happen. Like what are the chances of it happening. So usually you're going to use this in like problem solving problems, word problems, where they're asking you the chances of something happening. So the textbook pages are page 312, 313. And the workbook is page 115. Again, if you're missing any of these pages, check the plus portals, the math part in the files section. Okay, so when they're talking about probability, they're going to give you something. Like they could give you a jar of marbles, a spinner, blocks, shapes, whatever. They're going to explain something to you. So the way that we're going to figure it out is, like always when we do problem solving, we have to read the problem first, figure out what information they're giving us, what they're asking, and how we're going to solve the problem. So for this one, I wrote the whole problem. There are 10 marbles in a jar. 1 is purple, 2 are white, 3 are red, and 4 are orange. Right? That's the given, the information they're giving us. So if we were using GWPS, this would be our given, both things, the drawing and the words. What is the probability that without looking, you would pick a marble of each color? Why do you think they put without looking? Obviously, if you were looking, you could pick the marble that you wanted to pick. So that's not going to help us. It's the chance of doing it without looking, without trying on purpose to pick something. So the way we would write it, right? The P, like you see here, they all have P's. That means the probability that it's going to happen, right, is the number of that choice, that's going to be your numerator, out of the total number of choices. So for example, for the marbles, what is the total number of marbles that we have? Well, it tells us here in our problem, there are 10 marbles, right? We could also count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 marbles. So the total number of choices, in this case marbles, would be 10. So for all the choices, it's going to be out of 10 marbles because we only have 10 to choose from, right? Now, what is the probability or the chance of us picking a purple marble? For that, we need to see how many of the marbles are purple. There's only 1 purple marble, right? So we only have a 1 out of 10 chance of picking a marble because there are only 1 purple out of the 10 marbles. So our chance of picking a purple one would be 1 out of 10, or 1 in 10 chance of picking a purple marble, okay? So with that explanation, let's do the next one, white. Again, the same total number of marbles, 10. How many are white? The white, we have 2 white. So our chances of picking a white marble would be 2 out of 10 chance of picking a white marble because there are 2 out of the 10 marbles that are white. Okay? For the red, same thing. How many total marbles do we have? 10. How many of them are red? 1, 2, 3. 3 of them are red. So we have a 3 out of the 10 chance probability of picking a red marble. The last one would be orange. Again, we have 10 marbles. How many are orange? 4. So we have the probability or the chance of getting 4 out of the 10 marbles. Okay? Now sometimes they're going to ask you for 2 different options. So what is the probability of getting a red or a purple? Well, to figure that out, you have to see what is the chance of getting a red. We already know that's 3 out of 10. And the chance of getting a purple, a 1 out of 10 chance. So the chance of getting a red or a purple, we would need to combine them to get 4 out of 10 chance, because together the red and the purple make up 4 out of the 10 marbles in our jar. Right? Red, 1, 2, 3, and the purple, 4. So 4 out of the 10 marbles could be chosen if we were selecting a red or a purple. Okay, those are the examples for marbles. Let me show you for a spinner. You know, like in a game when you have a spinner and the little arrow. So what is the chance, the probability of landing on a green space if we were spinning it with a spinner? The steps are the same, right? Use a darker color. How many total spaces are on this spinner? We have to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the total choices are 8, right? And then green is what we're going to put on the top. How many of those 8 are green? Well, we look at it, we only have 2 that are green. So we have 2 out of an 8 chance of landing on a green, because there are 2 greens out of the 8 total choices. Let's do orange. Again, we have 8 total, right? How many are orange? Only 1. So we only have a 1 out of the 8 chance of picking an orange. Okay, for blue, again, we have 8 total choices. And how many are blue? 2. So 2 out of 8 is the probability of getting a blue. Green or orange. Whenever it gives you 2 of them, you're going to combine that. So for green, we know we had 2 out of 8. For orange, we had 1 out of 8. If we combine them, we would have a 3 out of 8 chance of getting a green or an orange, because out of the 8 choices, there are 3 which are green and orange combined, right? The 2 green plus the 1 orange, that's 3 out of those. Again, that's only when they're telling you 2 things together do you combine them. So the other one, the next one is similar. It's red or blue, the probability of a red or blue. So red, we know that we have 3 out of the 8 are red, and 2 out of the 8 are blue. So combining those 2, we would have 5 out of 8 chance of it being a red or a blue, because together we have 5 spaces that are either red or blue. Okay? Another way they could use is letters, like blocks. So if you picked like a block out of a bag without looking, what would the probability of getting an E be? Well, again, you have to see how many total blocks there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That number goes on the bottom, just like a fraction, right? The bottom is the total that it's out of. And out of those, we only have 1, that's a letter E. So we'll only have a 1 out of 5 chance probability of getting that E. B or C, the probability for B or C. So we have to do for B. We also have 1B out of the 5. I'm sorry. For B we have 2 B's. 2 B's out of the 5. And for the C we have 1 out of the 5. So combining those 2, we have 3 out of the 5 blocks that are either B or C. So 3 out of the 5 chance for that. They could do shapes. Again, these are all the same things. I'm just giving you different examples of ways they might tell you. So we have circles, triangles, and squares. So what is the probability of getting a circle? So we see how many circles do we have? 3. That's the top. Remember, the top is whatever they're asking. So if they're asking circles, the top is going to be how many circles. Then out of how many shapes in total, we have 2, 4, 6, 8 shapes. So we have a 3 out of 8 chance of getting a circle. The probability of a square or a triangle, so we would have to count both the squares and the triangles. So for the squares, we have 2 out of the 8 are squares. Triangles, we have 3 out of the 8 are triangles. So combining those, we would have a 5 out of the 8 chance of getting a square or a triangle. Okay? Now there's 2 other parts to vocabulary that they mention, which are, could it be certain, an event would be certain, or impossible. Okay? Certain means that for sure it's going to happen. And impossible, like the word, means it cannot happen. So for example, if they're asking the probability of landing in another spinner on a red, a white, or a blue, if you look at the spinner, what are the 3 colors? Red, white, and blue. So is it for sure that they're going to land on a red, white, or blue? Yes, because those are the only options. So we would do the probability of each. So the red would be 1 out of the 3. The white would be 1 out of the 3. And the blue would be 1 out of the 3, because those are the only 3 that there are. When we combine those, we would get 3 out of the 3, right? And we know that that equals 1. So the probability would be 1 because it is certain that it's going to happen. For sure, it's going to land on either a red, white, or a blue, because those are the only chances, the only options given to us. The other one, probability of getting a green. Look at your spinner. Do you see the color green? No. So, no matter how many times you spin it, no matter how much you want it to be green, is it possible to get a green? No. So that you would just put impossible. Again, because it's not there. You can't land on something that doesn't exist in the problem. So that would be impossible. So if they give you the probability of a color, or if it's a shape that's not there, then it's going to be impossible. That's the only option that you could have. Okay, so again, take your time, read it, watch the video again, do your work.